Hello! I'm sorry I've been missing in action, absent without leave, but as much as I talk about connection in recovery, we do need to disconnect from time to time as well and just get in connection with ourselves. There is a 72-hour phone silence and vlog way back down that I did a couple of years ago, and it was quite enlightening really. And some of my time has been used for reflection and connecting, getting anxious and panicky about my upcoming travels to Australia, mostly because of travelling alone, but also because it felt quite heavy, because it's sometimes, although I'm meeting so many wonderful people, which is the good side, I'm also travelling and vlogging, and that feels like pressure at times. And then I had to say to myself, Karina, the only person making you vlog is you. So there you go. It's up to you what you do and how you do it. So having a little think and a little shuffle around with that. As much as I'm panicking about my travel plans, what I've done is just book more and more travel plans for the year, because that's what you do, right, when you're running away. And I have run away my whole life in a bottle, from house to house, from car to car, from relationship to relationship. And now I'm trying to run away from my grief, but I know what I'm doing. And that's what's important, isn't it? I know I don't like being here on my own very often. Not that I want to share this space with anybody else either, but I miss Andy terribly when I'm here. So on the road, travelling is when we're at our happiest, at our best, especially when we are riding. So I've booked a little European tour to Austria on the motorbike later on this year, so that will be good. And I'm doing all around Scotland as well. But first I have Disneyland Paris this week coming up, and then 30th of January I'm flying off to Australia, on to Bali, and then on to America, and maybe on to India. And although I do see this as work, and because I'm spreading the word really on positive recovery with disability, sobriety, grief and travel, it's about not being our condition, not being our illness, not being our addiction. It's about living our life with all of that alongside us really. Sometimes diagnosis can be helpful because it can help us look at treatments and recovery plans and ways that we want to go. Other times it can give us excuses for just stopping still. And a couple of my friends have picked me up and saying, yeah, but Karina, you always say, oh, it's my FND. But actually we need to look at our symptoms, and recovery is about living our best life at that time, and the best we can do in that day. And I must admit, I haven't been making the best of all my days, but I haven't been quite booming and busting. I've probably had 2 bust days since I've been back home from the beginning of December. The rest of it I had tried to pace a bit and been doing stuff, and I've been catching up with lots of stuff. I've been trying to work out some insurance for my upcoming tour, just in case you didn't know this, because I only found this out when I was in Malaysia and thought that I'd lost my insurance. That was fun. I discovered that my multi-trip policy that I did have it, I found it eventually, was only for 28 days. So I can only be out of the country from 28 days. And you have to start that trip from the UK and it has to end in the UK. So my multi-trip will end when I'm in Bali. But I can't then add another additional trip onto that because I'm not flying in from my home country. So I had to get a backpacker's insurance. Haven't quite got it yet, because what I've discovered is if you're over 55 and got pre-existing conditions, it's quite expensive to go backpacking and go away for 3 months to multiple countries. So I have a choice at the moment of just under £1,000 for 3 months cover, which covers my conditions that I have. Or I can go for £298 to cover me for the 3 months backpacking, but it doesn't cover the conditions I have. And the problem is if I would say, for instance, have a fall, and it might be totally unrelated to any of my conditions, but they may then look back and see that I've got vertigo, that I've got a neurological condition, that I have had a history of quite a few falls, and I might go, oh, well, that was down to that, so we're not covering you. And nobody wants to be stuck, especially in the United States of America, with conditions that might need treatment and you haven't got insurance for it. So I am in a bit of a dilemma at the moment, but what would you do? Let me know, please. Comments below, that would be great. The other thing I've been looking at is funding for my up and coming trips, because I have no car, because my car money has been spent on all my flights. So it's a little bit tricky at the moment. I think all these trips that I've booked, I'm going to try and do it on my monthly allowance, which is my £1,100 that comes in from my NHS pension and from some of my PIP as well. So that's what I've got to live on. So I'm going to try and do it all on the cheap. Hopefully it won't be too bad because I'm staying with lots of people en route. But I think after this year, I might not be able to keep travelling. So I was looking at doing a GoFundMe page, because it's like someone said to me, well, I think it's my optician actually when I went recently. That's another thing. They tried to talk, because I keep breaking my glasses in my helmets. They gave me some goggles. I can't get on with the goggles because of the curvature. They've now given me, or I'm now waiting for these really flexy ones. They're men's ones, but it's fine because they're not going to break, hopefully, when they go through my helmet. And they said, well, what about a little trial of, you know, contact lenses? And I'm like, oh, I don't like eyes. 37 years of nursing, but I don't do eyes. But they're like, look, your eyes are fine. And I never knew this. You know, you can actually just like touch your eye and you get used to it. It's something I couldn't have done a couple of weeks ago, but I'm doing it now. I have trialled, or I am trialling, the contact lenses. I don't particularly like them though, especially not for riding, because it takes a while for you to adjust to the distance and your intermediate and your reading. It's very clever how they work, but my brain's not clever enough to work that quickly. So for riding, it's a no-no. You have to be sharp. You have to be able to see and really have your wits about you. So I'm probably not going to be having them, but at least I will have some glasses. Totally gone off on a tangent. Don't know what I was talking about before. GoFundMe. So I was looking at GoFundMe and thinking, well, perhaps I'll try and get some funding for that, because the optician had said, I told him what I was doing. He went, well, you've been sponsored for all this because you know what you're doing is really good. You're going and supporting people all over the world with their sobriety and, you know, with their disability and living a positive life and with grief and sort of getting, you know, encouraging people to get out there and travel, or if they can't, to actually see stuff through you. And I'm like, no, I haven't. So then someone mentioned sort of a GoFundMe page, and twice I've tried to set it up and it keeps booting me out, and then it doesn't remember me and I'm going round in circles, which is the universe telling me I'm not to do that. So I'm putting out positive energy out there. I'm going to be, this year is going to be successful. And when I mean successful, I don't mean me making lots of money, but I mean me selling my books, lots more of my books. If you want to help me on my travels and not give me money for nothing, then please just go and buy The A to Z of Alcohol and Sobriety, Everything You Need to Know by me, Karina Alderton, available on Amazon for less than a tenner. And it's not just about the title. Look at the little short that I put down below. It's about anxiety, it's about well-being, it's about mental health, physical health, it's about lots and lots of stuff, and it will help you with any addiction as well. Again, I did a short on addiction. 50 seconds of your time, have a little look, and that will really support me to keep going and doing these things. I'm not very good at promoting myself, so that's one of the manifestations that I'm making is, Karina, promote yourself, because you need support to get the word out there. You need the support to keep doing this. So please, if you like any of my vlogs or my travel vlogs and you want me to keep going, then please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share the ass out of it all, so that I get out there and people get to know me and what I'm doing. And just the more people that see it, hopefully the more people I help. And that's my thing. Every day I just want one person to be helped with something I say. So that's all I dream about, really. But I want to keep doing this, and I need the funding to do it. So I'm not begging, but I'm asking you to support me just in sharing. That's not going to cost you anything. Or by buying my book, because I make £2.50 on each book that I sell. So, you know, might buy me a cup of coffee somewhere. Who knows? What else? I've booked my rail car, my ticket down to Heathrow from Diss, which I'll be going through on the 30th of January. And you know, it's so easy. It's so easy now. I used to go to Stansted because it was closer, but you've got to pay for your parking, pay for your petrol, get parked, blah, 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 blah. Now I just get a lift to Diss. My friend's going to give me a lift to Diss. I get on the train. I get to Heathrow. It's easy peasy, and it's so much easier, so much cheaper, and I'm there right at the terminal, into Liverpool Street, onto the Elizabeth line, and off I go. I have bought a medium-sized suitcase. I'm going to try and do it without my walker. I think I will be okay because I've got special assistance in all the airports, and when I get to Australia it's going to be warmer, so hopefully that will help. The other thing I've been trialling at the moment is some CBD oil with some THC in. I've had to give up the extra THC. It is on subscription through Curaleaf, but it just makes me anxious. I can't do the THC, so I'm just doing the CBD. It has made a great difference to my arthritis, I have to say, but not to my fibromyalgia. It could just be that I've gone into a flare, but for the first time in a couple of years, I'm getting the real fibro shooting pains. And when they come, they're like crippling. Luckily, they don't last too long. So if anybody out there with fibro has tried the prescription medicinal cannabis, then please let me know. And just let me know if that's something that you had. Because I don't know if it's a flare or whether it's a CBD oil. I have asked them what's in the oil. Is it, for example, got gluten in, or alcohol, or dairy, or sugar, all the things that trigger me off? And a month later, they're still trying to find out from the supplier what's in it, which is a little bit worrying. It takes a month for them to disclose what's in the product you're taking. I'm not going to go into conspiracy theories. I'm going to have a slurp of my coffee instead. So anyway, back to the rail card. Or the railway. I've got a rail card, which was easy. I think it was £15 for the year, which is brilliant, and I get a reduction on my rail, and also whoever goes with me gets a reduction. So before, I was getting really confused because I was looking at specific places like Greater Anglia and sort of, the ones in London, but actually you just Google a rail card if you have a disability, and you can get a great reduction off of your things. So I've been doing that. That's my insurance, special assistance. Yeah, I think really I did. I'm going to be vain and put my glasses on. See, I should have put my contacts on. I don't know why I'm being vain, because it doesn't usually bother me. Always say I'm perfect at being me. It doesn't matter what we look like. Oh yeah, this morning, I don't know how I could forget this. My lovely friend Julia WhatsApped, video called, whatever, from Australia, not the United States, because she lives in Australia. And now I'm feeling really, really excited about getting there, because I'm going to go and see her and just spend some time with her. And we're going to talk about vlogging as well. It's like my vlogging of my local area has inspired her to do the same in her area. So that's really exciting. We can talk about that and perhaps do some dual stuff, which would be good. So looking forward to that, but just looking to seeing her. I've known her since I was about 13 or 14, maybe 11. I don't know. Do you know, all my school friends, I always say that I've known them since I was 14, 15. They all say, Karina, you've known me since you were 11. And it's weird, but I seem to have blocked out the period, because I was bullied quite a lot at school from the age of 11 to 14. So I've kind of blocked out that period of my time, which is very, very strange. But, well, it's not strange, is it? It's my protection. So all my school friends who I've known since I was 11, but only remember knowing me since I was 14, I do apologise, but I love you still, nonetheless. It's just my time frame's very, very warped. The vlogs, yeah, I've done some shorts. I've done one on my book, one on control, one on addiction, the train, the rail card, insurance, the GoFundMe. Global money. So this was really interesting this morning. And again, I'm sure many of you know this, but if you don't, then here's a little tip for you. That I went on to, when I was in Malaysia, I got booted out of my bank. It just froze everything because I was trying to book some insurance back home, because at that point I didn't think I had it. Scroll down to the Malaysias, Penang Island, I think that's when I was trying to sort all of my insurance out. That was a nightmare. I was trying to book insurance and my bank froze on my account, so I was left stranded in Malaysia. And I've got to try and contact my bank from Malaysia, which obviously is a fortune. I had to ring them. They wouldn't let me do it on the internet, so I had to ring them. So that was a pain. So I've tried to contact HSBC today to say, look, I need to let you know my travel plans. And I got an email back going, you don't need to let us know of that. It's fine. You can go and travel. We'll just keep an eye on it. And I'm like, but I need to let you know, because I don't want you booting me out and leaving me vulnerable and stranded in a foreign country again. No, that won't happen. Watch this space. But what they did do is send me a link to Global Money, which is brilliant. I mean, I used to have the post office cards you could load your money on that you needed at that time to whatever country you're going to. So like your euros for Spain or whatever. But when I went to Malaysia and Cambodia, they didn't cover that there. So I couldn't do it. So I couldn't take my card. Anyway, if you are with HSBC, if you have a current account with them, if you have the HSBC app, I can only speak for HSBC, I'm sure others may do it. You go to your bank accounts, like your list of your accounts, you go to the bottom, you go to, I think it's international money, international services at the bottom, there's a little bit. Go on to international payments, and on there it will say about Global Money. I mean, this is me, technophobe, sorted it out in less than 5 minutes. You literally go on, you request to have a Global Money card. It goes straight into your wallet. You can transfer your money. So I've just transferred Australian dollars onto there. So you transfer what you want, the amount of money you want, what currency you want, and it goes onto your Global credit card. It's on my phone. You can also get a hard card, which they're sending me as well. No fees. I can draw money out with that card. I can pay no transfer fees, and they do the exchange rate. So they give you the dollars at the current exchange rate. So it's perfect. Obviously, haven't tried it out yet, but it looks pretty good and looks pretty simple. Anyway, I think that's about me. I need to get ready to get packed for Disney. What are we today? Saturday. I've got quite a few appointments. Heading down to Essex on Wednesday. Catching up to some people. And then to Disney. I will give some footage from Disney, but I want it to be a family holiday as well, because I'm going with my son and my grandson. And although I'll be giving you some footage, I'm not going to be vlogging. I'll leave a lot of that for when I get to Australia. But if you have any tips for me on vlogs, anything you want to know, anything you don't want to know, I'm thinking rather than doing whole days, I would just do, like whenever I go to places, do footage of that place, and anything I've had to do to prepare and to talk about that place. And then perhaps once a week, I'll just give you an update on my week, a bit like this, of what's been happening, what's been good, what's been not so good. And yeah, we'll just take it from there. Anyway, I'll see you again soon. Don't know when, but we'll get there. Ta-da for now.